Go out to the jimsfirearms.net hotline. Glen West, senior writer, Go 24/7 with us. Glenn, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right, Hunt. How about yourself?
I'm reading a lot of contracts. I'm reading a lot of
Yeah.
lawsuits. I don't want to do that ever, and I'm doing a lot of that. So I'm not super awesome. What about you?
Yeah, I'm the same. I spent a good portion of the morning trying to sort out the latest of this saga, but I've also tried to realize that we've got football to play this weekend, and there's some attention that needs to be put on that as well.
Well, let's do that here because I've done enough on the lawsuit in the first segment of the show today. So your thoughts on the defense on Saturday evening in Tuscaloosa?
I thought they held up well. I mean, I think going into the game, I thought this was maybe a little bit of a better matchup for LSU, strictly because of the previous games that they had played against Vanderbilt and Texas A&M. You've had those mobile quarterbacks, and that's really been the Achilles heel of that defense for a couple of years now under Blake Baker. And for all the things that Ty Simpson is as a passer, you really didn't see him run a whole lot last weekend against the Tigers. And I think once they were able to bottle that up, they were able to consistently get off the field. They forced, a couple turnovers. They did a really nice job of just bending but not breaking for the most part. And honestly, the one part that I thought that LSU would maybe have a little bit more of a advantage, and where I think they've struggled the most the last couple of weeks, has been in the secondary. They gave up so many of those intermediate plays over the middle of the field, but I thought they did a really nice job of shutting the run game down and really having the bounce back performance that you needed to just keep the offense in the game for as long as they could. And unfortunately, the offense just wasn't able to answer the bell, and first time all season they haven't scored a touchdown. I think that's been something that was coming if you had watched this offense perform the last 7-8 games. But I was pleased with the defense overall. I thought they had a nice bounce back performance. Let's
stick with the defense. We'll get to the offense here shortly. Why do you think they have such issues with the mobile quarterback?
Yeah, I think part of their whole structure is to get pressure in the backfield as much as possible. And when you're not filling your rush lane gaps in the right way, it just makes it so much easier for those slippery quarterbacks to find the lane and find the opportunity to go get some extra yards. And I think that's really what happened in those two games against Vanderbilt. Their run gap integrity was just not good. Guys were, I think, getting into the backfield. I mean, there were so many opportunities in that Vanderbilt game. I'm thinking just right off the top of my head where, guys like Jack Pyburn or Harold Perkins were in position to make a play, and those guys just at the last second were able to, dart away from them or make a quick move and get out of their reach and continue and extend plays in that way. And so I just think it's a fundamental thing that where they've really struggled to stop those running quarterbacks, because if you've got to be able to be precise on your rush lanes and getting those pressures on quarterbacks, and they haven't been able to do that as consistently as maybe you would have hoped to here in year two under Baker with some of those mobile quarterbacks. But they have talent. I think they have the kind of pass rushers that can create that havoc, but they just got to be able to finish those plays a little bit more consistently, because you're going to face another one of those guys this week in Taylen Green.
Yeah, I was going to say, according to my sources, the quarterback at Arkansas runs a little bit. Do you expect to see it look different this week, or you expect, hey, they'll probably just kind of get gashed again because that's what happens when they play a mobile quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, until you prove me wrong, I mean, I expect Taylen Green to be able to get extend some plays and get some open lanes and take advantage of that aspect of LSU's defense. That's something that Arkansas is game planning for here. They have a top 10 offense in so many different ways and so many ways that they can beat you, but it all starts with Taylen Green, and he has shown a really improved ability to be able to escape the pocket and make guys miss and continue drives. I mean, I believe I was looking at the stats. They're top 10 in those categories, but specifically third down conversions. I think they're right at 52% as an offense, which is top 10 in the country. Yeah. That's when LSU has struggled defensively this year with those mobile quarterbacks. It's usually come on those third down plays, and so it's going to be really imperative for those guys to have a game plan for that. I would be surprised if Whit Weeks is a part of that game plan, but certainly you're going to need a lot of these guys to step up and execute their game plan much better against Green on Saturday.
Let's say LSU plays 65 snaps on Saturday. How many of those does Garrett Nussmeier take?
I'm going to go 40.
That's a big split. I mean, that's a lot of Van Buren. You think you're going to see a lot of Van Buren on Saturday?
I do. I think they're going to go to Van Buren quite a bit. I think once you've opened that Pandora's box and just, the way that Frank Wilson has kind of talked about it this weekend, or this week, I should say, they're going to give Van Buren a legit shot. And I think it's the right move at this point in the season. I think you've got to give the guy who maybe could potentially be sticking around beyond this year some more opportunities, some more reps. I will say, like, if LSU is going to have success as an offense, it has to come this week because Arkansas's defense has not held an opponent under 30 points since September 13th, the second week of the season. And so they're going to give up some plays. You're going to have opportunities as an offense to move the ball. I firmly believe both of these quarterbacks can have success in this game, but I do think that they're going to make this much more of a two-quarterback system here over the final 3 games of the year.
What does that mean for Garrett Nussmeier? Like, how do you interpret that for Nussmeier?
It's just so rough, man, because, Garrett's the guy that you want to be able to root for because he went through his first 3-4 years in the program the right way and really the way that you want to script it up. But I just think these last couple of games, the explosiveness has really, really diminished in this offense. You can tell it's getting to him a little bit, I think, mentally. I mean, he just does not look like a very confident quarterback right now, and you see all these check down throws that he's making, and I think there's just a lot that's going into this right now from a passing game perspective for him, and I just think it's in his best interest to go out there and try to put on some good film for whatever games and whatever snaps he has left as a Tiger, but it's just really unfortunate. This has been a pretty nightmarish season for him and for this offense, and one that I think even his biggest naysayers coming into the year probably couldn't have predicted, but it's the way that it's turned out. And I expect LSU to be doing whatever it can to win the game. And I do think that Van Buren's going to be a big part of that this weekend.
What do they do on the offensive line, specifically at right tackle?
I would still make some moves. I mean, I'm actually writing about this right now as we speak, but I would certainly give Aubrey Williams another shot at right tackle. I mean, I believe the PFF grades had him as a pretty serviceable pass blocker in that game in that second half against Alabama. Didn't do so hot in the run, but he's somebody that, this Arkansas defense has exactly one player on the defense that I think can hurt you, and he's an edge rusher. And so I think LSU is going to want to get the best pass blockers out there for this game, and I would certainly expect Aubrey Williams to play a little bit more at right tackle. I would expect Carius Kern to continue to play at left tackle, and we'll see what happens there in the middle. But I do expect some more change to be coming on the offensive line this weekend as well.
Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.